Hello, it's Jason with Hardy Life Outdoors. I am here in Southeast Ohio, and this is not another bird video. It's a Friday, early March, and I took the day off of work so I could come down here and do some habitat management work back on the Habitat Oasis project. One of the things I do like to do, I always get those feeders filled if I'm going to be here for several days, because I enjoy sitting on the deck and watching the birds. So we got those filled, and what's in store for today? I got some, I don't know, relatively basic habitat management work. You think about habitat management, a lot of people's first thought is dropping trees, getting the chainsaw out, hinge cutting, things along those lines. I got some simpler things that have been neglected for a while. So I guess the very basic thing, it's early March. Bucks are shedding their antlers. They're starting to regrow for next year. Does are carrying fawns. We're not quite to green up. Things are starting to green up, but you know, one of the things I want to do is get some minerals out on my mineral licks. So we're going to go out and replenish those, give those deer some minerals to, you know, give them a good start going into spring and summer. Hopefully jumpstart that antler growth. I'm going to collect some soil samples. So my plans are to plant about 3 acres of Vitalized Seed Nitro Boost. Is it Nitro Boost? Carbon load? I'll have to look, but they're spring planting. It's got about, I don't know, 14, 15 different varieties in it. So we're going to get that planted. I'm going to try some new areas, but I do want to do soil tests. So we're going to go take some soil tests. I'm going to do some pruning of fruit trees. I've got some pear trees that haven't been touched in, I don't think I've ever pruned them. They're a mess. When I looked at them, I thought they need a severe pruning, and it should help them produce better this year. The trees themselves look pretty healthy, but they need some pruning if I'm going to get the fruit off of them that I want. So we're going to hit those. And then I've got some apple trees. I don't know if you want to call it an orchard or not. There's 5, 6, 7 of them, something like that. I'm going to hit those and prune those back. They've been pruned before, but I'm sure they can use a good pruning. I noticed a decent number of apples on one of them this last year. Figure if I prune it, it should produce better. And hopefully we're getting to a place where it's going to take off and it's going to actually provide a decent food source for the deer. I think I've mentioned in previous videos, those apple trees represent one of my habitat management. I don't know if it's a mistake. I didn't pay attention to when it fruits. So they are summer fruiting. By the time the deer are, by the time it's hunting season, the fruits are mostly gone. But that's okay. I didn't put them someplace to hunt over. I put them someplace for the deer to have. I want to draw deer in. They can come for the apple trees and, you know, stay for the clover and everything else. But I'm going to go do that, and we'll see what else we get into. I might bring in some trail cams, get them out of the woods, get them cleaned up, test them, see how well they work. I know I got a few that aren't working quite right, so we're gonna grab the side-by-side and go do some projects on the Habitat Oasis project. So let's go check it out. So this is something that I've always loved when I was hunting, is a good gas line. When I hunted in West Virginia, I say when I hunted, where I hunt in West Virginia, we've probably got a couple miles of gas line there, and it's just always been a place that I enjoyed sitting. It was a place that you could see the deer cross. The deer would sometimes come feed. They would use it for travel. And while I'd love to have a very long gas line, what I've got here is about 300 yards. And when I first purchased this place, it was completely neglected. The gas line, the gas company had not kept it clear. They did clear it a couple years ago, and I vowed to keep it clean. So my plan is to turn it into a food plot. Before you get concerned about tilling and what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do, as long as I'm not digging, they don't care if I plant food plots on here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some soil samples. As I mentioned, several hundred yards here. I'm going to go down through here, take about 4 samples. I've got a clean bucket. I've got a soil probe. We'll stick the probe in the ground about 6, 8 inches. Grab the dirt, put it in the bucket. We'll mix all the samples together. We'll take a sample from that, and that's what we'll mail off. For those of you that, I know there's a lot of people reluctant to do soil samples because it's expensive. I think I paid $21 per sample, and then you have to pay to ship it off. The reality is, if you pay attention to what it says, it can actually save you money in the long run. So think about how much you're going to spend on seed. If you spend $21 to get a test for 1 acre, you probably have $50 to $100 worth of seed going into that acre. You've got your time, you've got tractor time. If you're using anything to kill weeds, you've got herbicide costs in that. If you fertilize it and you fertilize it incorrectly, you could be putting down tons of fertilizer that is not what your property needs. So in the long run, you should be able to save money with a soil test. The other reason that I'm doing it, I'm buying seed from the guys at Vitalize Seed. They have spent a lot more time figuring out what makes sense and how to be successful with their mixes. Great guys that are willing to talk to any customer and explain your soil test results and explain what you need to do. So that's part of why I'm doing this, is I know I've got a resource like that I'm going to take these soil tests to them, spend a little bit of time with them, and get a good understanding for what I need to do. Because my goal, I did not have a good year of hunting last year. I was so busy with other things that I just didn't get my property ready to hunt, and I didn't get out very much. So this year I am committed to having good food plots and doing a lot of hunting. So we're looking for success this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab a sample here, and then gonna head on down through. I'll get several more samples, and we'll head to the 80 and do the same thing back there. Expecting that till later this afternoon, so it started early. I'm still trying to get my soil samples. I got one more sample I got to take. I'm going to put out another little bit of mineral. When I get back here, I'll show you that spot. I haven't even started pruning trees. I got out here, there were some trees that the wind had blown the tubes over, so I restaked a few trees. Definitely have some work to do. I bought a bunch of stakes, so I knew I was going to have to do it. Just need to go back and start addressing them. So let's go check out the spot where I'm putting out some mineral. As you could see as I was driving back here, this area is thick with pines and autumn olive. I've never really hunted back here because there's no trees to get into. I could potentially clear some spots back here and get into a small pine, but what I tend to do back here, I had a feeder back here at one point. Got a picture of a hog years ago. Haven't seen it back, but I get tons of wildlife back here. I've got a picture, I'll post a couple of the pictures. I've got bobcats, I get coyotes, I get foxes, turkeys, deer, everything comes through this thick stuff and stops in here, hits the minerals, it pools and gets some water, so I think you know, they're here for water as well. Get rabbits, you know, everything shows up back here. So just going to freshen this area up. Keep them coming. I'll tell you, our conditions here are really different. You got to realize all the soil was stripped off this place at one point when they did the strip mining for coal. Then they spread dirt back on it. So this is a great example. I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches there of soil, and then I hit solid this gray rock. There's other areas I'll get in, you know, I'll get over a foot that I can go down. Not that I want to go that deep with my soil sample, but the soil is just so different from spot to spot here. But that's the last of the samples that I'm collecting. I'll dry these out, get them packaged up and sent off. This is an area that I've previously planted the spring planting from Vitalize, and I've got some good pictures of bucks and deer in here eating it. So I'm going to do it again this year. I'm going to do a better job this year of killing stuff off, and I'm going to try to fertilize it based on what I learned here. Really want to have a good successful plot here. I don't think you can see it. I'm going to pan around with the camera. I've got several crabapple trees planted here. We're tucked in. I'm close to the property line. The neighbors are right over there. They've got some nice oaks over there. I know the turkeys roost over there. I'll see turkeys come through this area. He used to hunt back here before we purchased it, so it's a good area. I definitely get pictures. I get good pictures in here, but I've not had luck hunting it, so maybe it's me. Anyway, this is another area that we'll get some Vitalize into. Pretty psyched about it. So that's what's going on here. From here, I'm gonna head up to the apple trees and show you what a mess those are, and maybe do a little pruning. The rain seems to have stopped here for a short time, so we'll get a little more work done. Okay, so as I told you, I've been working through these apple trees. They are a mess, and when you look at this one, it still needs some pruning and some work, but you can see all the weeds around it. I've got to get in here with the brush hog, but I've got one over here that I brought out the weed eater and cleaned it up, and I feel pretty good about it. Yeah, if you look at this one compared to what these others look like, I mean, they're a mess in the weeds. So I've trimmed this one back quite a bit. There's probably a few more limbs that could come off of it, but I'm getting ready to cage it back up, and I feel really good about how that tree looks. You know, I think I've mentioned a number of times, I've mentioned how rough our environment is for growing things. And these trees are, I'm going to give them 3 or 4 years old that they've been in the ground. Now, I'm sure in a more optimal environment, they would be in even better shape than they are right now. But I'm pretty happy with the shape it's in. That I think that's going to be a tree that I'll come back here in when things green up and, you know, kill back some stuff, put some, I want to put a bigger cage on it. Right now I've got it caged on about, I don't know, 24-inch cage. I want to put a 6-foot cage on it and really put a circle around it, get some mulch down to protect the bottom of it, you know, keep the deer from reaching over. But it's coming along. So I'm very happy with how that one looks. And I'm going to keep working on them. And, you know, once I'm done or done for the day, I'll show you what I got done, and we'll wrap things up after a bit. Well, I got 5 out of the 8 trees cleaned up. The string trimmer, some of this stuff here is woody weeds, and it bogged up the string trimmer pretty good and broke the string. I don't have string with me, so the last couple we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. But looking at this, the trees look much better. The key is gonna be getting in here. I need to put some bigger cages on these. These things need 6-foot cages. I need to get the grass killed back. I need to get some mulch down, you know, really give these things a little better environment around the roots so that they can take off. And then run the brush hog through here. Once I run the brush hog through here, I'm going to get this killed back. This is going to be returned to a clover field. If I can get clover in here like I've had in the past, it's just one more thing to draw the deer in and you know, give them a reason to be on our property. So last thing I'm going to do is got a couple bluebird boxes here. I want to clean those out before I head in. We're just at the time where the birds are starting to check them out, and I'd like to clean them out, give them clean boxes to work with. So I'm going to open those up real quick and clean them up, and then I'm heading in. So thanks for joining. Keep in mind, outdoors is always in season. March is a great time of year for hunting sheds, doing habitat management, and just plain old getting outside. Thanks. See you next time.